Are you already feeling guilty about being behind and it's just the beginning of the year? You're not alone. In fact, many people with big dreams and high expectations for themselves experience this. Trusting your timing can lead to more creative, lucrative, and enjoyable opportunities to open up in your life. Hi, welcome to the Connect with Sheila podcast. I'm an entrepreneur, self-care strategist, and creator of the Seasons Self-Care app. I'm committed to helping you reconnect to your purpose, elevate your well-being, and build your version of a happy, successful life. You're listening to a Monday minisode where I share an insight designed to help you live into what lights you up this week. Today, we are talking about going at your own pace and trusting your timing. I'm telling you, this is something that feels like it goes against the grain. It feels like, how could it actually be possible? But when I look back over my life, time and time again, I see that it is so true. What happens when you stop looking around you to plan your life and you start looking within? And I've found myself in this space in recent weeks, knowing that I typically like to enter into the new year a little bit slower. I don't plan a whole lot right at the start of the year because I want to have the time to myself to really adjust and understand kind of what's on my heart to do. And I obviously, before even the whole holiday season begins, I do have plans for the coming year. I typically have a 5-year plan. So I'm always looking further out, and then I can look at a year at a time for some big picture type of things that I want to do. So I am entering into the year with ideas and with, I have travel planned, I have events planned, some big things are planned. And then I have some other things that are expected with my time, but I don't get too granular until I am entering into the new year in terms of what are my days really going to look like and how am I going to, use my calendar and use my time in a way that really elevates the work and honors who I am, how I'm feeling, and where I feel led to serve. And this is kind of like the in between the big events, the in between of the travels. This way, I'm not getting right after the holidays hopping onto a treadmill. Because then, when you do that, you feel like maybe you didn't actually rest at all. And you start to wonder, why are you doing what you're doing? And you may find yourself going down a path and realizing, wait, why am I going in this direction? This doesn't really feel good. So giving yourself space to do that and trusting your own personal timing is really where it's at. And so this season, I was forced into rest. I've talked about this already, but I was forced into rest because of some kind of flu that I had, and it went through my whole house, and all of my loves had it as well. And I actually savored the time because I was forced to, and I just shut everything down. But I also didn't have a whole lot planned. So I didn't have to say I needed to reschedule. I didn't have to really, not show up for certain things. I had the space and I had the ability to just slow down and actually stop altogether. And what was so beautiful about that time, because it's not what I wanted. I did have ideas about what I wanted to do during a break and during the time of easing into the new year. I was like, ooh, I'll do this, I'll do that, just kind of floating ideas. And I was getting excited because I love being in that space of being able to plan and just really allow myself to have the creativity flow. And I didn't have that because I was literally delirious. So my brain was just not in that creative space at all. But what ended up happening is I'd have kind of moments where I felt myself coming back, and I would write down thoughts and I'd voice note some thoughts when I was feeling up to speaking. And I realized that some things that I had thought I wanted to do, I realized I didn't need to do right away. And I had just so much grace on myself. It gave me such a feeling of comfort And I think it actually sped up my healing rate as well. And then certain things I needed to do, like speaking, like being able to record things, I needed to put off and prolong a little bit because I wasn't able to really get in front of a microphone without clearing my voice so many times. And so I said, I'm not going to put my pressure on myself. I'm going to just go with what feels good. And when I did that, it allowed me time and space to have new ideas emerge that had been kind of on the periphery of what I'd been planning to do for quite some time. And I was able to connect with some new people in terms of like I was reading a lot more and taking in some other people's work. And I realized there were some beautiful collaborations that are now brewing and people that I've been connecting with because I had the spaciousness to do so. And so this year is looking even more exciting than it originally did because I see opportunities that I had the space to see. Sometimes we get so fixated on our plans and they're so set in stone and we feel so inflexible. And what happens is we are missing what may also be a possibility. And so when we're sometimes forced into rest or when we allow ourselves to really go at our own pace and to trust our own timing instead of everyone else's, that's where the magic happens. And so there's this saying I've been really telling myself over the last couple of years, and it is create space that you can expand into. And I really believe it's like magic space in a sense, because those are the places where the ideas come, the inspirations come, time, even just if you have more space when you're out, even doing errands or running around the city, whatever you may be doing, and you have time to just meander a bit, you never know who you're going to meet. Someone who knows someone who, tells you about a new author or somebody that you might want to start following or connect with. When you have space, you allow yourself the ability to connect, to truly connect, not just with others, but with yourself, right? Have you ever found that like you're driving somewhere or you're getting ready in the morning and maybe you have a little bit more time and you just find the ideas are flowing in your mind, the thoughts and things come up. And when you have the space, you can actually start questioning some of your own thoughts and realizing, why do I feel that way? Is that true? Start questioning things instead of just accepting everything that comes through your mind as absolute truth. We sometimes need to take ourselves to task to be able to tune into what is true for us. And so I think starting with the timing is a really valuable piece. So wherever you find yourself this week, I hope that you can have some grace on yourself and also allow yourself some space to maybe not hit it quite so hard as maybe everyone around you might be encouraging you to do. Like go at your pace. Like go hard if you feel like it. If you have that energy and you are just ready, go for it. I am cheering you on. And if you're feeling like you have a moment or a day where you just need to kind of say no to a few things so you can say yes to more things later, trust that. You know who you are and where you're at. And I really believe that when you take the space you need, the right opportunities for you, the right people, the right ideas for you at that time will rise. Forcing things doesn't have to be a thing. So I'm really happy that you're listening to these episodes. And I also want to draw your attention to the show notes. There is some information in there about the Seasons Collective, which is a place where we really dive into these types of things. We go through the stuff of life and business together, really cheering each other on and also sharing different perspectives of how we can look at different themes, topics, business ideas, and timing. It is a beautiful thing. So check it out in the show notes and feel free to share this episode for anyone you know who may be like putting so much pressure on themselves, because I'm telling you, there's so much that we have to look forward to. I really believe that. And there's so much challenge that also will come. That's just part of life. When you give yourself space to be able to rest a little and give yourself the grace that you need during times when you feel like you just have to keep going, it allows you to have a lot more strength for when the tough stuff comes, as it inevitably does. And being in community is a beautiful way to bolster your own inner strength as well. You don't have to go it alone. I'm so grateful that you're here. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Big blessings.